Hey, what's up guys? In today's video, I'm going to be telling you about my experience and opinions on the Battlefield 2042 beta. I'm sure some of you are hyped to get your hands on this game, and just like any current topic, I'm late as usual, but better late than never, right? This game is still right around the corner, or maybe it already came out and you just want to reminisce on the good old days. Either way, let's get into it. I also have a big announcement later in the video, so if you're a big fan of Battlefield, you'll want to stick around. But Battlefield 2042. We finally got our hands on the upcoming Battlefield, and it seems like there's already a lot of strong opinions, both good and bad. Meanwhile, I'm someone who plays the Battlefield series very casually, but I have been playing Battlefield for about a decade now, since Bad Company 2. So even though I'm not a hardcore veteran with thousands of hours to back up my opinion, I still think the casual opinion can matter, and I think I have an idea of what it takes for a Battlefield game to be good. Something that Battlefield seems to nail on the head almost every time is being big and fun, to simply put it. And this game is pretty damn fun. Usually it starts with the maps, and I thought this map was pretty breathtaking at times. It definitely succeeds at feeling like you're in this big battle with so much going on, especially when you're on top of a tall building and get a good view of everything. Like that giant rocket reminds me of the rocket on the Black Ops 1 map, Launch. And it feels like a modern or futuristic version of that, and to me, it's just so cool. But even with this gigantic map, it rarely feels like you're entirely out of the fight. Of course, having 128 players helps with that. It just makes me want to see the other maps with how interesting and cinematic this one is. It seemed to play pretty good too. Maybe a little too open for me at some points and some spawn killing here and there, but mostly good. With this map being set in the near future, you can mostly notice this with how the maps were made and the vehicles. I did get to play around with the vehicles a little bit, mostly just jumping out of planes, but vehicles have always been a pretty big part of Battlefield and they seem pretty good as usual. Now the weapons seem really interesting this time around, mostly because you could put on attachments right then and there, literally in the middle of a gunfight if you wanted, and I think that could lead to some interesting situations, like getting a long range kill with an ACOG sight, then switching to a red dot sight to get a close range kill. Just seems like good and fun variety to switch things up. The guns also feel pretty smooth and satisfying to use. The main gun you'll see me use is a laser beam, and it was fun trying to aim better with it. I suck in most of my gameplays, and I didn't adjust my settings as much as I should because it's only a beta. But I can see myself changing my sensitivity more and getting used to this game. But one big thing that makes me hesitant about liking this game is how it runs for me personally. I'm sure you can tell by now that the frames aren't the best, and my graphics settings are also on low. I still think this game looks fine, and of course it runs better when I'm not recording, enough to consider buying the game, but that's probably my biggest problem with 2042, just how it runs for me personally. It had me checking out that RTX 1380 compared to my GTX 1660, I even had to update my driver just to play the beta. But I know there's other problems in the game like bugs and questionable things like the new specialists or class system or whatever it is. Personally, I prefer the older class system in Battlefield. I think a class should play to its role and have pros and cons with certain limitations and advantages, but hey, that's just me. So this begs the question, will I or should you buy this game on launch? Personally, I think I'm gonna get this game, just not at launch. Even though I didn't experience many bugs or glitches, I would want to wait for this game to get patched a bit more, but you never know if a friend convinces me to get it or something. I only played a few solo games, which was still pretty fun, but I imagine playing with a full squad is a damn good time. Since I only played a few games, I didn't run into many problems, but based off what I've seen and heard from more experienced people on YouTube, it sounds like this game needs to cook a little longer. I did hear that the beta was an older build of the game and some of these issues should be fixed at launch, but I'm also the type of person to just wait for updates and for the price to go down. Most likely you aren't the same way and just buy a game when you feel like it, especially if you already made up your mind on it or if it's a long-running beloved franchise like Battlefield. Love or hate the game, I doubt I'm changing anyone's opinion, but if you're a hardcore Battlefield fan and just can't wait, then I'd say screw it and just get this game at launch. It looks like it'll be the best Battlefield since Battlefield 4, and it could be a fun journey to see this game update into one of the best Battlefield games of all time. or fail miserably. Either way, it'll be fun to see how it plays out. But if you're more of a casual Battlefield fan like me, or just tired of buying unfinished $60 games from AAA developers, then I'd say to wait for the right price until you think it's worth it. Like I said, I'm the type of player to just wait until the price goes down, so if you're patient like me, I'd say to wait a little bit. It just depends how much $20 or $40 means to you. But I don't think there's a scenario where I say not to get this game. Only for obvious reasons like if your console or PC can't run this game well enough, or maybe Battlefield just isn't your type of game. But if you enjoy Battlefield and that type of gameplay, it seems like this game is worth playing at least at one point. Even if it's years later and this game is only like $10 with a few thousand people online, it'd still seem worth it as long as the updates don't ruin the game or anything. I'm excited to see how they patch and take care of this game moving forward. I know it's only a beta, but it seems like there's huge potential with Battlefield 2042, and I hope it gets the proper content updates and support it needs to be one of the best AAA shooters out there, and I think it has that potential. But first, let's see how this game is at launch. Just remember, it's EA we're dealing with. Anyway, I think that's about everything I wanted to say on the beta. Overall, it was pretty fun, even though it's rough around the edges. I don't have any strong positive or negative feelings on this game, yet I am leaning more towards the positive side. Like, Battlefield has this charm and fun factor to me, at least as a casual player. Even though you're not in the action all the time, it can still be fun just doing stuff or screwing around. Like, the grapple hook makes me want to see how that affects the mobility in the gameplay. And who just doesn't like grapple hooks in video games? They're so much fun. Man, I didn't even get to experience that badass tornado I see all over YouTube. Now that shit looks fun, but at least that means it doesn't happen too often. There's still things in this game I still want to see and experience, so overall, this gets a thumbs up from me. But if you really like Battlefield, then you might be excited about this announcement, or at least might want to stick around. And that's because I plan on playing and reviewing every Battlefield game in order. Well, at least every Battlefield on Steam, starting with Bad Company 2, because I've been meaning to branch out and play some of the AAA games I enjoy. I want to review entire franchises, and Battlefield seemed like a good place to start, so be on the lookout for that. But yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. This was just a brief first impression type of review from a casual Battlefield player, and I'm excited to get back into the series and maybe take it more seriously than ever. I hope I didn't say anything to piss you off if you do take Battlefield seriously. I know I didn't hate or praise this game as much as someone wanted me to. I also hope the gameplay in this video wasn't too bad. I only played 2 games and I sucked, okay? Cut me some slack. Anyway, please leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. Any type of support is highly appreciated, just like if you dropped a comment with your opinion or any feedback. Man, I love that shit. Don't forget to subscribe if you've been enjoying the content. You can check on the screen for some of my other reviews. I'll put up the Battlefield reviews if they're already out. But most importantly, thank you for watching the entire video. It really means a lot, and I hope that means I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.